Ladies and gentlemen, this is a recent interview Don Lemon did on CNN. And of course, a Trump supporter trying to defend everything. And, they got a pattern of always going to the past and then overinflating that in the media. Benghazi, Hillary, the emails. Hillary didn't even win. Okay. She didn't even win the damn election. But these are the things they keep coming into the media and trying to kick up a lot of dust. And it just doesn't make any sense at this point. Trump is the sitting president. He is under investigation for Russia's meddling in the United States election. And I'm sorry, every time he keeps blasting the FBI, keep blasting the investigation, keep going on Twitter whining over and over, because that's exactly what he's doing, he's just making himself look even more guilty. Okay, and I know over the recent days he's been trashing the FBI. Come on now. Every time this investigation gets a lot of publicity, he comes running out on Twitter. I mean, stop showing your guilt, okay? Because that's exactly what he's doing. But I want you to see how desperate these folks sound on TV now over this investigation. I'm going to go ahead and play this video from CNN, and I will leave the link to this video in the description box.
How many people did Barack Obama have charged with a crime? Zero. How many people were indicted when Barack Obama was president of the United States? Zero. How many people pled guilty to a crime? Zero. The fact is, anybody can come on TV and tout the president and tout his ethics and tout his morals and everything else, but he's had four individuals, two of which have actually already pled guilty, one of which was his national security advisor. They have pled guilty to crimes, and the national security advisor has pled guilty to a crime while he was in the White House. And Paul Manafort, who's been indicted, was the chairman of the president's campaign. Those are facts. And if Christopher Ruddy wants to come on here and say this has nothing to do with the president, this has nothing to do with the president while he was running for office or while he's been in the White House, then he's a bald-faced liar. The fact is, we are still investigating a meeting that happened with the president's son, Donald Trump Jr. And people are asking, why did this meeting occur? It happened because of adoptions. That's BS, Don. We know why it happened. It happened because they thought that they could get information from the Russians. I've got to get Ben in. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, look, and I want to say this because I think that this is, what Bakari just said there, I think sums up the election a year ago perfectly. There are a lot of people that feel like that there was special treatment that was given to people that worked for Barack Obama on things that they did that they would have been indicted for if they were Republicans. For example, when you clearly have top secret information on a laptop that you have on a server in the basement of your house, and then you send those top secret classified documents to people that aren't even cleared to see them, and then you forward them to your husband, who, by the way, is in jail by the name of Anthony Weiner. If that was a Republican,
what does that have to do with what we're talking
they
about?
would have been indicted. Let me finish.
What are you talking about? The FBI already investigated that. There have been a million hearings on it. It's water under the bridge. No. We'll be right back. Back now with my panel. So, Ben, if you're not going to hijack the panel and talk about things that are relevant, then you can go on and talk about it. But I don't want to hear things about, listen, I don't want to hear about Benghazi. I don't want to hear about uranium. I don't want to hear about it has been litigated.
Of course, because it doesn't fit the narrative.
No, it doesn't. Listen.
No, but it's irrelevant
it's
now,
irrelevant.
Ben. She lost.
It's irrelevant.
Again,
if you're going to talk
about
it,
I didn't say anything when Bakari was talking earlier, and you had no problem with anything he said because you agreed with it all, Don.
No, it's not because I agree with it all. It's because he's
Yeah,
talking
sure
about
it
things
is.
that have to do with now, not some bull from the past that has been litigated over and over and is not relevant anymore because every time someone, what are emails? Oh,
Don,
but
clearly
uranium.
you don't like what I'm saying.
But no, it's not that I don't like what you're saying.
I didn't even say the word
listen,
uranium, Don.
It's not.
I never said anything about uranium.
That is where
That's
you're going
you
to go
saying
back
that.
to. You go back to the same
No, it's not.
talking points.
If you listen
So
to
let's
somebody,
stop.
instead of assuming
Let's
what they're going
stop
to
right
say, then you
here,
might learn something.
Get back on track, and let's talk about the New York Times interview that we were discussing instead of going back in time in a time machine and talking about something and someone who was not president anymore.
Why
So
are you
again,
so
he says that
afraid of
he
what I'm saying?
believes, Tara, that he believes that he could be treated fairly in an investigation. Yet, over and over and over again, he has said that he believes it is tainted. He says in this interview that he believes it was made up, invented by the Democrats as a hoax and a ruse and as an excuse for losing an election.
Yet our intelligence agencies have unanimously agreed that the Russians did in fact meddle in our election. Donald Trump has it stuck in his craw that it somehow undermines legitimacy of his election if he acknowledges what the Russians did. This is something to the chagrin of even his national security folks. Everyone, they don't like the fact he continues to call us a hoax because it's not a hoax, and it makes our intelligence community's job that much more difficult because they need to implement policy to make sure this doesn't happen again. That's the real problem here. The fact that he
and
just
no one is
not,
doing anything about it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I believe that there are good men and women that are trying to do their jobs despite the president continually stepping on their throats and belittling them in public. But this is his obsession with this is pathological, and he said a lot of other things in this interview, like that he knows the tax bill greater than the CPAs and all these things. It's just his narcissism.
I know foreign policy better than the general. Thank you all.
Well, as you heard, it's the usual rhetoric, y'all. It really is. But, unfortunately, it's to the point where Trump's administration really have not much of anything to fight with at this point, because of this investigation. And do I believe Russia meddled in the election? Absolutely. Absolutely. Trump's response to this whole investigation is very telling. I'm going to let you leave your comments and subscribe, and don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and also join me over on Black Junction TV and Black Spot. Peace, family.